You want to turn the hood off?
I thought we learned that lesson last time.
So we're gonna make polenta. And this polenta we're gonna utilize for frying. So a little bit of olive oil down. If you want a measurement, I'd say probably 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup. And then half of an onion. And what I do with my onions is I save the peelings and of the onions, the celery, and the carrots, and use those to put them in a stock when I make the stock. And we dice those onions fine. Let the oil get hot, you put your onions. Typically for the polenta, I use a piece of wood to stir it with. But I didn't find one here, so we're going to use rubber pad. So what you want to do is saute your onions until they're translucent. You can see what they look like in here.
Translucent, for those of you in Rio Linda, means what?
It means that you can't quite see through it, but almost. It's not white. When they're raw, they're white. And as it cooks, it starts to get where you can almost see through it. And then, so the recipe is 1/3 of a cup of olive oil, half of an onion minced fine, 4 cups of cornmeal. Okay, so your onion's translucent now.
Yellow cornmeal, right?
Yellow cornmeal. That's 1. 2. So 4 cups of cornmeal and 16 cups of water. So the ratio is 4 to 1.
4 cups of water to 1 cup of cornmeal.
Yes. And then I just stir that in. And there are a lot of people who cook polenta a lot of different ways. Some people get the water hot and add the polenta, just stream it into the water. I like to coat the polenta with the olive oil, kind of like you would when you're cooking rice. Because what happens with the polenta is, as it absorbs, you have to continue to stir it so that it smooths it out. And then 1 gallon of water. And when I add the water, I typically add 1/3 at a time, so that I have enough volume of the cornmeal to let it break up. We stir that periodically. Take about 15-20 minutes for it to cook. In the meantime, we're going to get some butter and grated cheddar cheese to finish it off. And you can see how it's coming together. And if you look real close at that, you can see it's a little bit grainy, but it's almost smooth and creamy.
So there's still a few grains showing.
Right. So now we're going to get ready to start adding the cheese. We'll add the cheese and the butter.
Oh, we forgot to turn off the fan. Cutting the butter. How much butter?
We're putting it in a 1/2 pound.
1/2 pound, that'd be 2 cubes?
Well, that'd be 1/2 pound. If you got it in 1/4 pound cubes, yes, it'd be 2 cubes. And we're going to add our cheese. So as far as the heat, we started this off on high, and once it comes up to a boil, you turn it down and just let it simmer.
So it's been simmering for quite a while.
Yes, about 15, 16 minutes now. And now we'll season it, salt and pepper.
So what's the consistency right now of that?
Well, let's stir in the salt and pepper, and then we'll check it out. And you can see the butter's almost melted, the cheese is almost blended in. See how it's pretty creamy now?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I see a couple lumps there.
Uh-huh. I got a couple lumps as I was growing up. I'm just here to tell you, I don't know where they came from or anything, but
That was way back when if you showed up in the middle of town with all your friends on your bicycle and you were wearing a helmet, they'd laugh you right off of your bike.
right. The heck you doing wearing a helmet? Today you ride your bike, you don't have a helmet, you're off the trail.
Yeah. You look like you're getting ready to step off the moon lander.
Right.
Now when you ride a bike.
Those lumps are onions. See it? Okay, this is almost ready. About 4 more minutes.
I'm gonna get myself tasty.
You on? Okay, now we're gonna taste it. And we taste it, salt and pepper, cheesiness, creaminess, the texture.
I'd say almost like when I was in the Army when they served grits.
Mm-hmm.
Almost
Pretty
the
close.
same consistency. Maybe
A
a little
thinner.
little thinner, but not much.
Uh-huh. And how do you like salt and pepper in that?
Oh, delicious.
Tastes good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So a cross between cream of wheat and grits.
Right. That's what the Polenta is. Gluten-free. Now we're going to lay it out on half a sheet pan.
That's another thing I never understood. We went thousands of years and everybody ate gluten. Now all of a sudden half of the population in the world is allergic to it.
It's the artificial flavoring, the over-processing, the...
That's what I was thinking too.
Yes, that's what they're allergic to. So we're going to pour this off here. Not all of it because it's too much for this. But then you offer creamy polenta as an alternative to potatoes.
Because a lot of people on the keto diet can't eat potatoes. So this would be a good alternative, right?
I'm not that familiar with that diet, although if you're not eating potatoes, this is.
I'm not either, but they're supposed to stay away from vegetables grown under the ground.
Oh, this is a vegetable grown above ground,
Yes.
minus the onion. So this cools, and then tomorrow or later tonight we can cut it into 5-inch squares, and then we're going to deep fry it.
So you cut it into 5-inch squares.
And then cut it diagonally so you have 2 triangles per square, and then put it in the deep fryer until it turns golden brown, and we'll see how it tastes.
All righty.
Tough.